Any professional transition is difficult. It becomes more so without the support of the organization and its leaders. Alaina Mundy shares her one rule for leaders when helping someone transition from their career.
Transition is one of the most difficult activities I've done in the CAF so far. I thought it was going to be easy. Mm-hmm. I thought you'd be able just to like a slice of bread, you just slice off the end and keep on going. That is not how it is. And I think that we need to really realize that shifting gears and transitioning out of the CAF is not as easy as it looks, and it needs deliberate effort. And I was posted to Transition Center in 2001 or 2021. And I've come to know that there are some big things that chains of command can do to make that transition easy or hard for a member. And one of the biggest things that I have to pass on to leaders or junior leaders or anyone in the CAF is this theory about grace and how you can employ grace in the way you lead. And I spoke with Matt Boniface, Chief Officer Boniface at the Transition Center. This is one of the first conversations I had with him. And I said, when I first got sick, about a month after my diagnosis, I had terrible nerve pain from, we don't know from where. It was probably related to me digesting a diagnosis. And my boss at the time, Kirsten McIsaac, gave me a ton of grace. So I think I called in sick for a week, and she knew. She knew it just sucked. And after a certain amount of time, which she allowed me to have, then it was like conversations about, okay, cool. Like, when can we pick you back up? Do you want to try and come in like remotely? Do you want to, are you checking with your clinician, that kind of thing? So there was a ton of follow-up given, but also a ton of grace. So she knew I wasn't doing well, but she checked in constantly. And I said, it's grace to know. I had this done a couple of times when I was an NCM. I got pulled into the RSM's office and I thought I was getting in trouble. Really thought I was getting in trouble. And instead he slid me a leave pass across the table and told me I did a good job and not to come into work tomorrow. I was like, great. But when you know someone has something going on and you could spare them for the day, slipping them a short leave pass and saying, go be at home, that's grace. And the Army put some restrictions on it, right? Restrictions on short leave and that kind of thing. But sometimes you just need, that your soldiers need a day, or maybe they need a few hours, or, maybe they need the 5-minute phone call pump up. Maybe they need a reminder. Maybe they need someone to do anything for them. You name it, right? Like shovel their wife's driveway. Make sure that something gets fixed at home. Bring over the guys and do something that needs to get done that's impacting the family. These are all forms of grace. And when I was a kid, I remember my dad telling stories about grace being very popular, the work party that showed up to fix something.
Yeah.
And I think that we've slid away from that. And I think that there aren't rules about grace or about how you can employ it. So as long as you can employ it so that you give the same level of grace to everyone, that it's not just given to one person because you like or dislike them, but it's given out on a basis of need. I think that that's something that I feel privileged. And I've always questioned whether it's because I'm a major or, would I be treated the same way if I was still private Alkenbrack? So I always consider that, especially linked to transition where people are not doing good. It might take them time. I'm 3 years into my transition phase and I still feel like I'm holding on for dear life. And, only now am I comfortable with the idea that I get to leave the CAF. Not I have to leave. I get to leave. Mm-hmm. I'm finished with my CAF service and that's okay. 22 years of your life is okay. It will be culturally different on the other side. And I've noticed some big things about the culture and how to apply or not to apply my CAF experience in that culture. but it's going to be different, but it's not impossible. It just takes some grace.